Welcome learners to our today's lesson. Today we are going to talk topic in class 7, that is soil. And the soil, we are going to talk about soil fertility. And I will start by asking you learners, what is soil fertility? The explanation we give to soil fertility is the ability of the soil to produce high yields and maintain production for a long time. Soil fertility is enhanced by adding fertilizers into the soil. There we talk of fertilizers or manures. These are substances that are added to the soil so that they can be able to enhance the soil fertility by provision of nutrients lacking in the soil. There are two types of fertilizers. Learners, there are two types of fertilizers. We have natural fertilizers or organic manures, and we have artificial fertilizers, also known as inorganic fertilizers. And I will start by discussing organic manure. Learners, organic manures are divided into four. One, we have farmyard manure, we have green manure, compost manure, and we have mulches. Let us start by looking what is farmyard manure. Farmyard manure is also called animal manure. This is manure we get from droppings or waste materials of animals and their beddings. It is made from animal waste, that is a dung, droppings, urine, and animal feeds, also beddings. An example of a bedding is leftovers such as napier grass, sawdust, and leaves. We also have green manure. Green manure is made by cutting or chopping green plants and plowing them into the soil. Green manure also takes the longest time to release nutrients to the soil. Learners, be very keen. This is a question which comes in the exam. Which type of manure takes the longest time to release nutrients in the soil? The type of manure that takes the longest time to release nutrients in the soil, it is green manure. There are qualities of a plant, that is plants that we are going to use to make green manure. These plants, one, they should be leafy, meaning that they should have leaves. Two, they should have what we call quick growth, meaning they should be growing fast. They should be quick to rot, that is decomposition. They should decompose fast. Should be leguminous. We know very well leguminous plants have root nodules, and we say inside the root nodules there are bacteria. And the work of this bacteria is to trap atmospheric nitrogen and change it into nitrates, which are going to make the plants to grow. The green manure, it's purely made from leguminous plants because they are rich in nutrients. The other type of manure is known as compost manure. It is made from decayed plant remains and animal wastes such as leaves, cow dung, and food leftovers, among others. It can be made in heaps or in pits. In areas whereby we have high rainfall, where rainfall is high, we use heaps because high rainfall is going to prevent what we call water logging in these heaps. We also have in dry areas. In dry areas we have we use pits because in pits we reduce the rate of evaporation. There are several materials that are going to be used in making compost pit. There is arrangement of materials that apply here. The arrangement from the one that is at the bottom. At the bottom, when you are preparing a heap of compost manure, you start with maize stalk. From maize stalk, we have a kitchen refuse. From kitchen refuse, animal dung. After animal dung, we have ash. From ash, we go to topsoil. And all these layers, each layer has got a significant use. Let us start by why do we have to use dry leaves when preparing compost manure. Dry leaves, they are used to reduce the rate of evaporation because we cover them at the top. This is going to reduce the rate of evaporation. Also, we have topsoil. The work of the topsoil is to introduce bacteria for faster decomposition. Learners, in class 4, you learned that components of soil, and one of the components of soil is living organisms in the soil. The living organisms in the soil, such as earthworms, they assist in decomposition, and that is why we are saying it is very important for us to introduce a layer of topsoil in preparation of compost manure. We also use ash. Ash is important because it adds additional nutrients. What nutrients do we get from ash? Ash contains a nutrient known as potassium. We also add yard manure. What is the purpose of the yard manure? Yard manure provides nutrients to the bacteria. Remember, we have said that we have to add topsoil so that you can be able to introduce bacteria. What is the bacteria going to feed? The bacteria is going to feed on the yard manure. We have another type of manure, which we call it mulches. Mulches are dry leaves placed at the bottom of a growing plant to conserve water or moisture. Take an example of this plant, whereby this is my tomato plant, and I have dry leaves. These are examples of dry leaves, and I put them under this region, the region whereby the stem and the roots are meeting under the ground. This is introduced. These mulches are going to one, conserve moisture. At the same time, when they rot, for example, mine here, they have started rotting, and when they are going to rot completely, they are going to add nutrients in the soil. Mulches are also useful in the following ways. They control soil erosion, and they also prevent growth of weed. Organic manure are very important. One, they have advantages because we say they bind soil particles together. Take an example where we have, in this case, I have my mulch here. This is dry grass which is here. I have soil sample here. The soil particles has been bound together by the manure. It releases nutrients very slowly for a long time. Manures, that is organic manure, they release nutrients in the soil slowly for a long period of time. They reduce also soil erosion. We know very well soil erosion is carrying of the topsoil by agents of erosion, that is water and wind. Manures also improve aeration. What is aeration? We have layers in the soil, and the layers in the soil, they need to get sufficient air. What is going to take the air inside? It is the soil which has enough holes, and we say in short term aerated soil, that is aeration. Manures, they make the soil to be well aerated. Also, manures, that is organic manure, they improve what you call soil structure. The layers of the soil, the way they appear on the ground, that is what you are calling soil structure. Remember, everything that has advantage has got also disadvantages. What are disadvantages of organic manure? One, they can lead to spread of diseases. I've shown you mulches which are rotting, and these mulches may be from a plant that was affected by diseases. These diseases can also be transferred the same to the other plants. So we are saying organic manures can lead to spread of diseases. It takes a long time to rot and release nutrients. Organic manures, they take long time. We have given an example of green manure, which takes the longest time in preparation. They take long time, and you find that when the plant is growing, it might not get the required nutrients at the right time. Organic manure can lead to spread of weeds. When you take an example, learners, where we have a heap of organic manure, you are most likely to find all types of weeds growing there because they are getting the required nutrients. Also, they are very expensive to prepare. Take a good example of green manure, whereby you have to look for leguminous plants, grow them. After growing them, overturn them through plowing, give them time to decompose. Don't you think that one is very expensive? Yes, it is very expensive. Take an example whereby you are preparing compost manure, you are digging a compost pit, you are having all that heap, maize stock, kitchen refuse, dry leaves, soil, adding ash. That is very much tedious. Another disadvantage is that they do not carry specific nutrients. It is not it's not easy for you to be able to tell the kind of nutrients that are contained in these types of manures we are talking about. And the last one is that they are bulky. For you to be able to carry this manure to take it to your farm or garden, it will be quite involved, requiring you to use much labor. Learners, make sure that you go through your notes, look at the supplemented books, get more information, gather more information, look at questions, how they are being asked, and make sure that you revise thoroughly about the same topic. Bye-bye.